we are drifting today, both me and Nicole. Unfortunately, Alberto didn't get his car tuned, but I want to hear Alberto. I want to pull this engine tonight. Do you think it's gonna last, or do you think it's gonna blow up?
It's gonna last. I don't think it'll blow up.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. It'll probably last like another year if we let it. It'd just be.
Your oil is okay. You don't overheat the crap out of it. It should be okay.
Yeah, she's just a sad SR. Alan said something to me in the driver's meeting. I need to get it on camera as a disclaimer. Alan, can you repeat what you said to me again on video so I have proof?
If you hit my door, I'm completely okay with it.
He legit wants us to hit his door, either me or Matt.
Yeah, but then you know what that means.
What?
That if I get close and if I just so happen to tap your car, you can't be mad at me.
Yeah, but like I'm not encouraging you to tap my door. You're encouraging me to tap yours.
Okay, true.
I don't want to have my car stuck at paint again.
True.
Kelsey brought her MD car out this time. I've only gotten to drive with her SR car, so this will be fun. These monster guys are really, really fun to drive with. I told Alberto, I was like, it doesn't normally feel like this in second. I knew my transmission was gonna break. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Oh, this sucks. I literally, Nicole, not even joking, I was in the car, I was telling Alberto, I was like, my transmission doesn't normally feel like this. Is this normal, Alberto? He was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Go up there, first, second, no more transmission. My transmission's done.
So it's not the engine?
No, the engine's fine.
It's the transmission?
Yeah, the transmission's done. It was so funny too, because I was just having a conversation with the monster guys. They're like, I'm surprised you don't go through more transmissions with that unsprung clutch. I was like, I know.
Well, at least you know how to drop it pretty well.
Well, yeah, well, we're actually gonna be dropping the engine anyway, and I have your SR transmission at home, so it'll be super easy.
So let's go home.
I'm down. You jinxed me, dude. My trans just went.
No.
Dude, you jinxed me.
No way.
You had to say that. You killing me, dog.
I'm not jinxing you. We'll help you find.
Make it home, please. Make it home. Just gotta skip second to make it a third car. All right, we did it. We're gonna put the truck to good use, bring some tools home that we're gonna need. Pull this engine. I don't think Alberto's really into the idea of pulling the engine. It didn't seem like he was very receptive to our little plan of doing the challenge, so it's probably just gonna be me doing it. We'll see. I'm hoping some friends will come by and hang out for moral support, but I think I can do this. I'm motivated. I'm gonna do this. I already got the car in the air. I got the coolant draining. I remember most of the stuff that I have to do to pull the engine. I remember most of the stuff that I have to do to pull the tranny. So now I'm just combining those two things, which should make it a little bit easier because those transmission bolts are a pain. I'll figure it out as I go though. You know, if I go to pull the engine and there's a wiring harness attached to it, I'll unplug it. So I think we can do it. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Fingers crossed, gonna make it happen. But first, much more importantly, we have to recharge. Nicole's whipping up some of her signature nachos. I'm not gonna give you guys a secret recipe because she makes these extra delicious.
My hair look extra colorful.
It does. I love it. It sounds everything I say sounds sarcastic. You know I like it.
It is sarcastic. Who are you texting that emoji? Are you guys holding hands and hearts?
Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Trevor? Now, I'm not gonna give myself any sort of time restraint because I don't wanna mess stuff up. It's around 6:20 p.m. I'm gonna start working on things, but I left a GoPro set up here so I can basically do a time lapse. But just before we start ripping stuff apart, the first things I'm gonna do is basically remove the intercooler piping, the radiator, start unplugging some of the harnesses. I'm gonna tackle all this stuff in the bay first, and then we'll work underneath the car and in the car because we have to do the shifter and the drive shaft and the exhaust. There's probably other stuff I'm forgetting as well. Now a little after 7, so almost an hour, which sounds like a lot of time. I had a bit of a difficulty getting the harness through the intake manifold. I know I could have pulled it out from that side and then had the harness chill in there, but I just wanted to do it this way. So all this jumbled mess, both had a hard time getting through the intake manifold, and a lot of these connectors, since I've never used them before, it took me a little while to figure out. Also pulled the radiator out, pulled the fuel lines out, pulled lots of little vacuum hoses off, like on the brake booster and some of the lines running to the boost controller and to the turbo. Power steering stuff, the line for my catch can, and pretty much everything I could see that connects something on the chassis to the engine. I'm sure there'll be stuff that I'm forgetting, but I feel like I'm off to a decent start. One very easy step that's also very easy to forget is pulling the shifter out. Since we're pulling the motor with the transmission, which I think is easier, maybe it's not if you're Alberto. Alberto doesn't like to put the top bolts on the transmission. That way, when he pulls it off in the future, it's easier to get to. A little tip and trick. But anyway, is just removing the shifter. You don't have to remove the whole entire plate, but you can just remove the part of the shifter. That way when you drop the transmission, you don't have to get it all the way down. This part I'm definitely familiar with. Just removing the drive shaft bolt so we can get the drive shaft out, and then we can start working on getting the transmission lowered. Just good fun, you know? Just good fun. Oh, I forgot, I don't have another person, so I'm gonna have to keep on like taking it in and out of gear. Well, I can do that trick too where I like race it on stuff, but I left the car in gear, so I'm gonna have to like climb up there. Thick. All right, so we've elapsed about 2 hours. It's about 8:30, and pretty much everything went pretty self-explanatory. I think I'm about ready to actually pull the engine. I just gotta hook the chain and clear some room for the engine hoist. Only 2 stupid mistakes I made, which, considering I thought this would be a comical video with me just nonstop making mistakes and this whole ordeal taking like 10 hours. I didn't take the car out of gear when I pulled that little shifter plate off, so it was such a pain trying to spin the drive shaft to get the wrenches in there. Got it done, and then I also didn't unhook the battery, so I made some sparks real quick, but we're good now, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't forget anything. I mean, we'll obviously see when I start to pull it, but I think I got all the wiring out, and I think we're ready to lift this girl out. Are you ready, Nicole? Basically, if this were like the Miley Cyrus music video where she's like on a, yeah, exactly, on a wrecking ball, you're gonna be just slowly positioning that wrecking ball so it doesn't just go and knock things over. So look and watch on that side to see if any wires get caught or anything weird is going on as I lift the engine, okay? I mean, honestly, I feel like I should have you do the cranking and I'll position the engine. I feel like that's much smarter. What is that, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was.
Literally.
At most, I'm not even joking.
Okay, I started at 6:20 and it's now 9.
Oh.
So 2 hours, 40 minutes though, like.
That's still really good by yourself.
I know, I honestly, okay, there are a lot of people that talk crap about me that say I don't know how to work on cars, and that's very true, but this for me, like, is a very empowering feeling because I knew it's something that I'd be capable of. I've just never really had the opportunity to do it. It does help a lot that I've been around pulling an engine multiple times, but like, I'm stoked. There weren't really that many like questions or anything. I didn't even have to research anything online. I didn't Google one thing. I just started kind of doing what made sense. What? Did you call a friend? Technically, I didn't call a friend. I was already on the phone with Trevor and I just asked him about 2 different plugs. That was the only questions I had about the whole thing, just because I didn't want to break them. But we did it. Awesome. SR's out and
hey,
what?
I shouldn't use the word we.
Well, I mean, you helped get it. That's the kind of hard part. I don't know. You helped. So I'm probably going to clean up the garage since I made quite a bit of a mess and maybe start pulling stuff apart on the SR. Yeah, it's like literally only 9. Normally we'd be doing this till 2 a.m. I'm pumped. Before I start cleaning the garage, I actually think I'm just going to pull the transmission off real quick. That way I can get the engine onto the engine stand and make it a little bit easier to work on. Look who stopped by. It's my mysterious friend from the simulator, Matt the Ginge. Hello. We're here to put a 350Z engine in my car. Just kidding. I think just tonight what I'm gonna do is just pull off the intake and exhaust manifolds and then call it a night, clean everything up. Thanks to Nicole, we have some sweet organization. I got the idea, PSI does this. I'm sure like every shop does this, but just kind of labeling the bags with bolts just to make things more organized. Because I probably will lose 90% of the stuff that I take out of this car. Matt and I tag teamed a lot of the tedious stuff, and now the garage is looking a little bit messy. What is that?
I was displaying them.
Oh, I thought you were doing a gang symbol, kind of like TJ Hunt's always. Poor kid's got a flat forehead from hitting his forearm all the time. All right, but anyway, so we got all the stuff on the ground and pretty much everything off the long block. I think the machine shop wants it pretty much bare, which it almost is at this point. I know I gotta pull the pulleys off and the oil pan and stuff, but I'm gonna save some things for tomorrow. You can see here that this gasket had a little bit of a leak, a little exhaust leak around here, as evident by all the carbon buildup, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm trying to act like I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Other than that, nothing, no surprises here. Yeah, okay. Gonna try to leave some of the stuff on the head to make it easier since I don't think that needs to be machined or anything, but cool, clean time. All right guys, so let's see where we left off. We have the engine basically down to a long block. Tomorrow, I will probably end up stripping it down to a short block. Alberto did want me to wait for him before I start stripping it apart because he wants to see if he can identify what is truly wrong with the engine. I obviously don't have a lot of experience with investigating and inspecting engines, so I might not realize it. The old transmission is garbage. I'll probably save the bell housing because believe it or not, you can actually use the SR bell housing on a KA transmission and make a KA 5-speed work. It's the same exact thing, it's just a different bell housing, so that's really good to have around. I don't know if the CD09 kit, the custom one, is going to be done in time for when I want to get the car back together, so I might just throw my extra SR trans that I have laying around from Nicole's old car, or her old engine setup, and put that in my car. All depends on the timeline of everything, so you guys can expect to see in the next couple days ripping apart and inspecting the engine. I also have a lot of stuff that I want to do in the engine bay. I really would love to do a new harness. I never really understood how crusty my harness was and how gross it is until I actually pulled the motor myself. So I might hit up Wiring Specialties, see if they have one on the shelf. If they do, it'll only take like a couple minor modifications to make it work with the Power FC. Probably avoid a lot of future issues of wire shorting out and just sketchy stuff. Also, I have this huge mess of wires. I have some really cool wiring stuff and I think I'm gonna use it to kind of put a power distribution block down on the frame rail, do some better battery mounts. I don't know how I want to mount this. I just want it to look nice. I have a new power steering kit for this car, got a new overflow, and as much as I'd really love to repaint the bay, I don't know if I want to do that because it kind of complicates the whole process, because then I gotta, even though there's really not that much to pull out, then I have to probably trailer my car to Randy at Surratt or do it in here and get a bunch of overspray, and I just don't know. I don't know what happened differently today. Maybe it's because we got up early, but it just feels really great knowing that we went drifting. I blew up my transmission. We basically filmed a whole video at the track, came home, pulled my engine, my very first engine that I pulled all by myself. I'm very proud of that. Don't make fun of me. And yeah, now it's midnight and we filmed a cool video, got a bunch of stuff done, and we still have time to watch some Netflix. So I wanna thank you guys for watching so much. I really hope you enjoyed it and you're excited for all the SR engine building, cleaning, modifying, inspecting videos that are to come. Make sure you leave a comment because I read all the comments, even if I don't always respond. I appreciate the feedback. So later, guys.